Hold it in.
Hey big heads, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Reese with a fork, pun intended. I'm a celebrity assistant by day and a pop culture junkie who provides social commentary at night. Please do me the biggest favor of your life by subscribing to my channel and liking this video so I can continue to provide you with great content. So let's get into today's video.
And I love your unapologetic way of being so rich.
Thank you.
I do.
So, in an upcoming episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne complains that she has no money in her bank account while she's drinking champagne on a luxury holiday with co-star Kyle Richards. So Erika, who's I believe 50 years old, as we already know, is embroiled in her estranged husband Tom Girardi's embezzlement scandal, where he stands accused of taking settlement funds that were meant to help families of plane crash victims. So Erika, of course, has denied knowing anything about the situation, but last week, paparazzi caught Tom outside coming from a lunch where Tom claimed otherwise, telling a reporter, "I think she does." I personally do not think that Erika knew what was going on. Maybe she had an inkling into something that may have happened, but I don't think that she was well aware of what Tom was doing. Tom seems like a very old school type of guy where it's just like you play the role of the trophy wife, look pretty, make sure dinner's on the table, don't talk about the business, go out, buy what you want, I will handle all of that stuff. I honestly don't think, knowing where she comes from, her background, that she would purposely be on a show as big as the Housewives of Beverly Hills and spend money knowing that it's supposed to be for plane crash victims. I don't believe that. That's just my personal opinion, but let's keep going. So, in this snippet of this upcoming episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you can see Erika's having a good time with the other girls. They're on holiday at a vineyard, and she has this heart-to-heart with Kyle, and she talks about her money troubles. And in the clip, she mentions that she doesn't have any money and that her brand's broke, everything is BS according to her, and Kyle, playing the role of typical Kyle, just listens on, and they're drinking very expensive champagne while they're doing it. So Tom was once worth an estimated $264 million, and since then they've moved out of their beautiful home, which was located in Pasadena, California. And the whole situation is just really sad. And obviously Tom's going through his bankruptcy woes, and he's, sick, and he broke his silence when the reporter, as I just mentioned, confronted him last week and asked whether or not Erika knew about the embezzlement scandal, and he made a comment saying, "I think she does." Now, they have been married since 2000, but currently, obviously, they're going through the divorce, but Erika has repeatedly denied any knowledge of wrongdoing, but fellow Housewives stars have reportedly said that they were aware of the scandal. This is just so messy, y'all. Camille Grammer, let me just say this about Camille, and this is one of the things that bothers me. Now, for those of you who may not remember, she was a full-time housewife on the first two seasons. The first season, she was such a snot and a snob that she actually was on the cover of a magazine, I don't remember which one, and she was named the most hated housewife because she was just so obnoxious. And then she returned for the second season, and it was like night and day. She knew that people did not like her, and she was very much acting because she didn't want to sit there and get that bad reputation that she had the first season. Now she comes and goes, but she's always starting drama, and it just really bothers me because it's like she's looking for things to take. It's like either be on the show or don't be on the show, but like stop it with the little childish games. You know what I mean? Like, you're divorced, you went through all of that, you're remarried, your children are healthy. Like, just either focus on that or I'm not a fan of her. I used to be a fan of her. I'm not a fan of her anymore. I just think that she's just too much trouble, and either like be a housewife or not be a housewife, but stay out of it. That's just my personal opinion. Now, they also said that Bethany Frankel said that was the worst kept secret in LA because if you don't remember, she had her boyfriend Dennis Shields, who unfortunately passed away, and Bethany claimed that Tom owed Dennis over $500,000 or around $500,000. At the end of the day, will Erika be okay? yes, I don't think that this is the end for her. I really do think that she didn't know what's going on, and I think that she still doesn't know what's going on. Do I think that she's going to end up going to jail? No. Do I think that she'll be responsible for paying some sort of compensation to the victims? Yes. Do I think that she's going to have a long-lasting career? Yes, I do. I think that she'll probably release another record if she can. I don't think it's going to be the Erika Jayne that we're used to, because Erika Jayne was very expensive, no pun intended, but I definitely think that this isn't the end of her career. I think that she will go on. It's kind of comical, though, when she talks about how her life is broken because she's still, she's not living in a studio apartment, in the middle of the Bay. Like, she didn't have to move to New Jersey to live in an apartment in, Elizabeth. She pretty much is still, she's on a show. She's still generating income for herself. I mean, it must be terrible to go through something like that and the whole world is looking at you. But I also agree with the other housewives. I think that she's doing way too much right now. The whole posting of herself in underwear and talking about how she still has to work, that's just no. I would not recommend, as someone who works in the industry. I don't think that that's the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, there's so many things going on in the world right now. The least that we're concerned about is Erika posting a photo in her underwear. I'm more concerned about the victims being compensated with the money that they were supposed to get a long time ago. And it's just, I just wish that, and it's sad because Tom is just, to be that powerful, and have all of that power, and then to be able to just call the shots. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's not like Tom Girardi is going to be burned at the stake. He'll be fine. Erika will be fine. He's just one of many, many people who are lucky enough to have not been caught. But it's just the same old song and dance over and over and over again with these powerful men in positions of power, and they're constantly, it's like the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, and this is a prime example of it. And it's just sad. It's just really, really sad. I do hope that something great comes out of this. I do hope that the victims are compensated, but I mean, it's just, it's sad, but at the same time, it's kind of, like I said, the fact that Erika, it's kind, you know what it reminds me of? Remember when Bethany left the New York Housewives and then she came back? Now, this is apples to oranges, but remember when Bethany came back because her talk show failed? She was going through her divorce. That was one of the best seasons, in my opinion, because it was so raw. But people were giving her a hard time because she's in the back of a car with a driver, crying because she's moving from hotel to hotel because she has a daughter and she wants a home for her daughter, and she said she's like the richest broke person and was crying, and people said, you have got to be kidding me. But I think when you are just wrapped up in a type of lifestyle for so long, and then all of a sudden, the walls start to cave in and then your whole world gets shattered, I think it's very difficult to process mentally, because now you're in a position where you're very vulnerable, and like most of us, we act out in situations where we base our decisions through fear. So the fact that, Erika, she doesn't really have any money according to her, but she does have money. It's like, what are you going to do? It's scary, and I do wish her well. But honestly, I have some chicken wings in the oven, so I really want to eat them because I'm going to be working late tonight. But yes, please let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Erika is a hypocrite? Do you think that Erika knew what happened? What are your thoughts on Erika Jayne at the moment? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Like and subscribe so I can provide you with more content. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Adios. Bye-bye.